All right, Hefty here, 492W. Want to talk about Project 4. It's our rubric overview here. This is a human resources development project. You can see it's 12% of your total grade, so we start to increase the weight. Again, HR is the department of the business that deals with the hiring, the administration, and the training, and one that's often overlooked, but it's a critical part to the foundation of any successful business. So this will be a lot of work, but the key point here is all of this will be used with the first part of your final project or final business design. So a lot of work here, quality work here, it's going to pay off. You're not going to have to redo much or fix much. Expectation again is you upload this to Canvas. It's due at 8 a.m. like all the projects. With this one, it's very critical that if you don't feel the quality is good enough at the due date time, I would go ahead and take the 10% off for the late submission, take the extra day. But again, that's a standard rule. As always, you must use TRR writing method with each part of each section, every question. And if there's multiple questions within that, you need to do TRI for each, and the points should reflect that. Let's take a look. All right, here's the rubric again. Let's go through the details so you can nail this project. Again, section A should be a header here. This is your business design and vision. What you want to do here is edit and improve and expand from project 3. All right, so subheading here. Again, define your business again. Again, this is directly from project 3. You want to improve this if you need to. It's okay to copy and paste parts if the quality is good. You want to start with your thesis statement here and then start to use your references and cite those different things. You also want to include now, this is the expansion. You want to expand and talk specifically the number of full-time staff you're going to have with your business and how that impacts you with health laws. Again, we talked about this with the Affordable Care Act. 50 is kind of the magic number there to give you a clue. Second thing, you must add the type of business you are going to be based on tax considerations. This is a lecture we talked about different types from sole proprietorships to LLCs to different forms. Pick the one that you're going to be, again, cite that, and then give a clear example illustration of it. Last, you want to include from project 3 where you talked about your definitions of leadership, management, your goals, your objectives, your situational leadership theory, and then your evaluations. This may seem like a lot, but hopefully it's things that you've already done and you're just improving it. And then you're going to use all of this information with project 6 in specific sections, and you'll just be able to plug that in and expand it to that project, your final business plan. Section B, new header, staff recruitment plan. Again, describe your plan in detail. You must cite references, and then you've got to give these concrete illustrations, and I'll talk about these tools here. So number 1, a formal job description. You want to tell me why it's important, how, again, cite that, and then you need to actually give me a concrete example of a formal job description that you designed specific for a position in your business. You just need to do one. It can be any one you want. Number 2, interview process and procedures. Again, you want to give a detailed description of why and how. Again, assume the reader has no idea what you're talking about or doesn't care or hasn't been in the class. You need to cite references to that, and then you need to provide for an illustration a separate bullet point outline or agenda for that process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, for example. Number 3, another subheading, interview questions. We talked about 6 different types. The book talked about 4, and then I added 2 others from lecture. You need to talk about those 6 specific types. And then again, why you're doing those 6 different types. Again, cite references, and then you need to give a concrete example of each of the 6 that you would use for your business. Number 4, subheading, hiring and interview evaluation process. Again, what it is, why it's important, cite a reference, and then you need to have for your illustration an actual evaluation form. Again, you don't need to design this. You'll see from Canvas, there's a whole section with the tools at the top of the home page where you can get evaluation forms that work for you and then cite that if you use one. Number 5 is the selection process and procedures. This is that final recommendation and procedures checklist to actually offer to the candidates or not to the candidates. Again, this was discussed in lecture, and there's actually with the hiring tools, there's examples there that you can use. Just make sure you cite. Make sure you're using concrete illustrations for each. That's the key here. You can see this is a big section with the points. It's 2 points for the T, 2 for the R, and 2 for the I for each of the 5. It turns out being 30 points. Section C then is staff development plan. Same process. Number 1 here, we're doing internal training. The illustration here is you need to actually have a training orientation. And for example, you would say day 1, we're doing this, day 2, this is kind of that agenda for that. But before that, you need to give a detailed description of what internal training is, why it's important, cite a reference, how you're going to do it. Number 2 is your external training. Do the same thing. Just need to provide a specific list of external trainings at the end. Example here would be certifications. Number 3, training and evaluation or assessment. Again, very important. It talks about adding digital media methods are required to get the points with your training evaluation. Staff compensation. This is where you're going to start to talk about your health plan and benefits you're going to provide for your full-time staff. Also include perks. This is where you can be creative. We talked about this in lecture. Make sure you cite health law, the Affordable Care Act, what you're bound by law to provide or not to provide. You can pick whichever, but make that connection and cite that within that decision on your compensation plan. Number 5, your staff development program. Again, this is where we were talking about continuing education, professional development. All the things we're doing actually in the class are examples of that. Again, provide concrete illustrations for each to get the points for the I. Again, 30 points here. You can see big section. Last is mechanics, same as always, your list of references, proper headers and subheadings, and proper citations. Again, the Turnitin references from sources must be under 25%. I need you to have original material and thoughts that you put down in your document. It's not all just paraphrased or cited or direct quotes. 72 total points. This is, I know, a lot of work, but this is going to set the foundation for your whole project 6, your final business plan. It's actually going to be all of part 1, and then you'll use it in parts 2 and 3. Thanks.